Long ago, high among the mountains, there lived a young eagle named Orion. Orion was born with powerful wings, sharp eyes, and the heart of a leader. But when he was still very young, a violent storm swept through the mountains and carried him far from his nest. When Orion woke up, he found himself among a flock of chickens on a small farm. The chickens took care of him and treated him as one of their own. They scratched the ground for food, clucked all day, and never looked beyond the fence. As Orion grew, he noticed he was different. His wings were larger, his legs were stronger, his eyes could see distant mountains while the chickens could barely see across the field. But every time he asked about it, the chickens laughed. "Don't be ridiculous," they said. "You're a chicken just like us." So Orion accepted their words. Day after day, he pecked at the dirt. Day after day, he stayed inside the fence. Day after day, he ignored the strange feeling inside him that whispered there was something more. Years passed. One afternoon, Orion looked up and saw a magnificent eagle soaring across the sky. The bird glided effortlessly through the clouds, dancing with the wind. Orion's heart began to race. "What is that?" he asked. The oldest chicken looked up briefly and replied, "That's an eagle, the king of the skies. But don't waste your time thinking about it. We could never do that." Orion stared at the eagle until it disappeared beyond the mountains. That night, he couldn't sleep. For the first time in years, the voice inside him became louder. What if they're wrong? What if I was made for more? The next morning, Orion climbed onto a wooden fence and stretched his wings. The chickens laughed. "Get down. You'll embarrass yourself. You'll fall." Fear gripped him. Maybe they were right. Maybe he really was just a strange-looking chicken. So he climbed down. Weeks went by, but the image of the eagle in the sky refused to leave his mind. Finally, one evening, as the sun painted the horizon gold, Orion made a decision. He walked to the highest hill near the farm. The chickens shouted after him, "Come back. It's dangerous. You'll fail." But this time, he kept walking. When he reached the top, he looked out at the endless mountains. His heart pounded. Every doubt he had ever heard echoed in his mind. "You can't. You're not good enough. Stay where it's safe." Yet another voice spoke from deep within. "You were born for this." Taking a deep breath, Orion spread his wings. The wind rushed beneath him. For a moment, he hesitated. Then he jumped. He fell. The ground rushed toward him. Fear exploded through his body. The chickens watching below shouted, "We told you." But then something incredible happened. His wings caught the wind. The air lifted him. His body rose higher and higher. The falling stopped. The flying began. Orion soared above the farm, above the fences, above the fears, above the limitations he had accepted for so many years. And for the first time in his life, he saw the world as it truly was. The mountains were not obstacles, they were destinations. The sky was not something to admire, it was something to enter. As he climbed higher, he realized a powerful truth. The greatest prison had never been the fence around the farm. It had been the beliefs he accepted about himself. The chickens had not intended to harm him. They simply shared the limits of their own understanding. But another person's limits do not have to become your limits. From that day forward, Orion became one of the greatest eagles the mountains had ever seen. Yet he never forgot the farm, and whenever he saw another young eagle doubting itself, he would tell them, "You are stronger than you think. You are capable of more than you imagine, and the life waiting for you is often just beyond the fear that tells you to stay where you are." Moral of the story: many people spend their lives living like chickens while carrying the wings of an eagle. They allow fear, doubt, criticism, and comfort to convince them they cannot rise. But your future is not determined by where you started. It is determined by whether you have the courage to discover who you truly are. The moment you stop listening to the voices that limit you and start trusting the potential within you, everything changes. You were not born merely to survive. You were born to soar.